Oh, hello everyone. This will be my first video in a series of discussing various monster matchups with Switch Axe. Now, when Sunbreak came out, I just continued using the longsword, but after a few hunts of the Switch Axe, I found myself enjoying this weapon even a lot more than longsword. So I've fully converted, and after a lot of hunts with this weapon, I feel like I've mastered it to the point where I can start sharing tips and tricks on how to tackle the different monsters. So for this first video, I'm going to be covering Espinas, and more specifically the afflicted version, which is most likely what you guys will be farming at the end game. Alright, so I'm just going to go through my build very quickly here. Now, the optimal weapon for Espinas is the Kushala Switch Axe. It's a power file and it has pretty good elements, so this is pretty much a no-brainer. Espinas doesn't really have much elemental weaknesses, so using like a Lagombi Switch Axe won't really benefit you. An important thing, which is very much personal preference, is that I run File Switch Boost. Now usually you would run the anti-species decos, but I think File Switch Boost, the argument for it can be another video entirely, but it just provides me with a lot of comfort so I don't have to use Switch Charger. Because every time you use Switch Charger, that's more DPS that's you're losing, not hitting the monster. So I think File Switch Boost is just really important. I even use it on my Element Switch Axes, but some people may consider that a little too unoptimized at that point. So, other important things you have to keep note of. I use Evade Extender 2 and Rapid Morph 3. I think as long as you have those skills, Switch Axe is just a total blast to play. So I'm just going to go through all my skills, then show you my equipment and their curious crafting. Now I do admit I'm extremely lucky to have all of these, but even with a budget build, you can outplay the Espinas, so don't worry too much about having a shitty build. Alright, so this is going to be the unedited footage of me analyzing this run. So hopefully I can provide some context into like what I'm thinking right now versus Espinas specifically. So playstyle first. Well, okay, we can just let this play. This is just me buffing up. Always remember Might Seed, Demon Powder, Mega Demon Drug, whatever, and activating Protective Polish. Okay, so my opening versus Espinas is try not to hit the head first. Espinas' roar, when you try to start it, it's going to be very hard to counter if you approach it from the head. So my advice when you're starting this fight is to try to attack from either the wings or the tail, which is what I'm going to do here. So he turns around, slash, and when it's not in rage, just go for the legs. So Espinas enrages very quickly, which is good because you want those juicy hit zones and you want to kill this thing as fast as possible. So when I counter the first roar and I deal a lot of damage, I just go into a combo because I know he's going to roar again, so as you can see, more rapid morph combos. Okay, very important thing about Switch Axe with your counters. There are two ways that you can use your counter with Switch Axe. One is reactionary, and one is proactive. So reactionary is something like you see an attack that's about to wind up, then you activate your counter. But proactive is the monster hasn't attacked you yet, but you will sit in your stand, like you activate it early to ready yourself for the next attack. So versus Espinas, the most important one is the proactive counter. So an example why here. So Espinas is going to do his double bite here now, I believe. So bite. After this bite, it's a very short recovery. Espinas can attack again very quickly after this bite. So because of that, I'm going to start my counter because I know he's going to attack me there, and I get the free counter. So this is one of the most important aspects of Switch Axe Learn is when to counter. And once you learn that, things become just so much more easier. Okay, this attack is really annoying. It kind of wastes a lot of time. He drags his horn on the floor, then he swipes his tail from the left, or like to your left. So to dodge this attack and to keep attacking him, just try to dodge diagonally to the right. This horn drag right here, the one that tracks you, it's pretty difficult to counter. Okay, so see another proactive counter like that. Okay, a very important move that Espinas does is the spread fireball, almost like a shotgun fireball. The way he signals that he's about to do this is when he flaps his wings like that. So let's get a look again. Like that. When you see him flap his wings a little bit, that means that's your signal to roll into him. See? I rolled underneath and I'm able to dodge it. And another proactive counter, I'm able to get another one. Okay, this is another aspect about the counter that people should know. Let's get into it here. Okay, I counter the first hit, but this is a multi-attack move, right? So it's 2 horn drags, then a tail swipe. Now usually, after a burst counter, you can immediately do a double slash, which is, you know, big fucking damage. But if another attack is coming that can knock you down, don't press anything, let the counter run its course, because you will still have super armor. And that's... The tail swipe hits me here, and I should be knocked down, but because I waited out the entire counter, I don't get knocked down, and I can continue attacking. Now, this will get you killed, especially if you don't run stun resistance. I don't, because I'm a dumbass and I like speed sharpening, but just remember this tech. You can preserve your armor frames. Alright, that was another example of the... and it's a clearer example. Let's just... Oopsies. I'm so sorry. Okay. So, okay, after this, look, it's going to be another example. Flaps his wings. Spread fireball. And as always, after the recovery animation of that spread fireball, I eke out as much damage, then when he's recovering, proactive counter. Always remember that. It will really help your Switch Axe gameplay. Okay. Now, this hip check, he runs towards a direction and then he will fireball, which gives you another opening. I'm just lucky that Versa Vigor was there, I was able to heal it back to full. Now, he was going to recover after that fireball, which is why I countered, but he tripped. And that's the first afflicted state done. So, I usually really don't enjoy afflicteds because I think their exhausted state is like just unfun. So, that's also part of the reason. Okay, so notes on that jumping attack of his where he jumps up in the air and he slams his claws down. Normally, you can't react to that. Like when you see the wind up, you can't start your burst counter and then counter it. You really do have to make sure you're already on it. But when it's exhausted, you can react to it. So when you see him jump up, you can start the elemental burst counter. Then when he lands, the timing is very tight, but you can't counter it. I just got greedy here, and I wasn't able to perform. Right, another thing about switch X that's really important is you always have to remember how to position yourself. Now, your best positioning tools are your morph attacks and your quick steps. In axe mode, you can only quick step left and right. In sword mode, you can quick step forward, backward, left, and right. And the morph attacks always push you forward depending on your input. So remembering that is always important to like reposition yourself. I fucked up the counter here. Okay, Espinas gets angry really quickly, which is a good thing because you want those juicy hit zones. So okay, counter here. And then finally countered the horn drag. So yeah, like I said, your morph attacks, you know, they push you forward, so you can always use that as gap closers with evade extender. Alright, that little horn jab thing, you can actually react to that. Not the actual horn jab itself, but when you see the horn jab hit you, it won't knock you down. Normally it knocks you on your butt, but if you see the horn jab, you can start the counter because it's a two-part attack. So the first part is the horn jab, second attack is the tail, and you can counter that. Alright, big opening. Okay, so the horn jab again, but I didn't really capitalize on it. It's paralyzed. Okay, important note. When they're wired like this, so after a wyvern ride, or if your palamute is using the silk binder, the first thing they'll always do is they're going to try and escape, and that gives you a big opening. I forgot about it here, so I didn't take advantage of it. So see, I counter, but he's gonna do that. So always remember, for flying monsters specifically, we're going to try and escape. Usually you don't want to, you know, sharpen while you have a DPS opportunity, but switch axe is very dependent on sharpness, your damage, and I'm not even in amped state here anyway, so I just thought, hey, you know, might as well get a sharpen now. Okay, that roar signifies that he's moving to a different area. Okay, yeah, so far, so good. Now, this isn't really like a speed run. Like you can see, I'm even collecting some of the shiny drops. This is just, you know, for casual players who struggle with the matchup. You're running up here. Alright, since it's knocked down, I can't really charge really quickly through the elemental burst counter, so I have to use sword attacks to charge it really quickly. The sword attack the combo to charge quickly is always A, so the double swing, heaven strike, then X, then so it's A X for switch users. And the wire bug attack, the one that I just performed, it always gives you a big chunk of amp gauge, and it does a lot of damage no matter what hit zone you hit. So, you know, tired Espinas, I just thought that this is the best way to build up my gauge. Okay, so I get amp back. Okay, now this is going to be the wyvern ride section. I usually, you know, the more that I played with it, I used to think it was really cool, but now it kind of interrupts the flow of hunts, but I'm still pretty cool with it. So we're going to take the ride here. I'll just skip this part because... Oh! An important part if you do wyvern ride, it's really important. So, Espinas wasn't afflicted here, but yeah, now he becomes enraged. So when you're wyvern riding, try to make sure you get the knockdown and the afflicted state, you know, just to speed up the hunt. Okay, skip over to Mount Punisher. Yeah, just getting out most of the damage that you need. Okay, the reason why that was a free counter, pretty much. The reason why I fucked that up, and you know, I want to leave in some of the fuck ups as well because, you know, it's important, is I thought that was the triple fireball, one that leaves you a very big opening, and you can't counter that. Or you can, but it's risky to do so. So I tried rolling out, but then I just realized it was a normal fireball. So this is a big fuck up on my part. So to tell the difference between the, you know, the big super move triple fireball and the normal fireball is when he's going to do the big super fireball, he raises his entire upper body way up. So it's going to be obvious damage. So I get punished here, but luckily it doesn't deal as much damage. It's the charge isn't very punishable. You can't really react to it with your counter, and it does not, like, he does not need to recover from it, so it's actually pretty difficult to... I'm just dodging. So as you can see, I'm always repositioning with my side steps. And you know, healing because... Okay, so this was not the big super fireball. See, even I could get fucking confused right now. There! That's the big fireball. So this gives you such a big opening. You just roll into him. The same way you dodge the shotgun fireball. But yeah, see, look how much damage you can get out. So I roll back here. Wyvern Ride. Every time you can Wyvern Ride, always use it as an opportunity to sharpen, because as always, you know, Switch Axe is very reliant on sharpness for damage. Alright, it's almost dead, so I think once I knock it out of its afflicted state here, it's probably gonna die. So as always, I use the Soaring Wyvern Blade to get a big chunk of amp. I didn't know why I wild swinged here. That was stupid of me. I should have just kept using sword attacks. My brain probably went on autopilot. Yeah, pretty dumb of me. Yeah, I think I just lost my groove here. But he gets knocked down. Okay, important part. I'm stuck on the other side of the Espinas here. So, what you can do is you can use Soaring Wyvern Blade to access like some parts. So now I can hit his legs, which are weak spots. So, you know, something to remember. And before it enrages, it's dead. So yeah, I'm sure, like, you know, this is very confusing because this is my first time, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. So, ooh, 7 minutes. Wow, very cool. But yeah, that's it for the matchup guide. I hope I can answer a lot more if you guys comment. So thank you.